Welcome on in, everybody. It is a late Friday night stream after the Truck Series race at IRP. I don't care what they call it now. I will always just call it IRP. We're going to have a really fun, I think, show tonight because we're going to go through the normal, hubbubaloo that we always do, but we might also have a guest coming in. It's literally just going to be a mystery as we go about it. We're just going to go through as we go through it. So I want you to rank out of 10 what you thought of this race. Was this the best truck race ever? Give it a 10 out of 10. Was it as bad as the '08 Brickyard? Give it a 1 out of 10. Let me see. I want you to spam it in the chat now. Lick that like button while we're at it. And if you're new, subscribe. We do this after every NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Truck Series race. So here's what we got in here. We got a lot of 6s, 7s. I see a 3 in there. 6.5s I'm seeing. We're seeing that 6 to 7 range for the most part. I like that. Look at Snappy says. 6, inoffensive, nothing special. God, man. That is funny. Yes, Ty Majeski did get the victory. We will go through the finishing order. I'm just letting them know that the Zoom link is sent. There's a reason we do these on Zoom. So let's go through the finishing order of this race. Ty Majeski does get the win by 4 seconds over Christian Eckes. Grant Enfinger in third. Fourth is Tyler Ankrum. Lane Riggs fifth, top 5 for him today. Sammy Smith and Luke Fenhaus, 6th and 7th. Raja Caruth in 8th, 9th Thompson. Nick Sanchez with a 10th place finish. Chastain, Sawalich, and Chase Purdy, those outside the top 10 who have finished on the lead lap. That's it. 13 on the lead lap. A lot of one lap down guys, starting with Bailey Curry in 14th, Jack Wood in 15th. 16th is Taylor Gray. Heim fell all the way back to 17th to end this race. Ty Dillon, 18th. 19th, Timmy Hill. And then 20th is Tanner Gray. Ben Rhodes, 21st. Matt Mills, 22nd. Johnny Sauter, 23rd. 24th is Matt Crafton. Marco Andretti, 25th. Brett Holmes in 26th. Daniel Dye in 27th, the only one, or one of only two, I should say, to finish 2 laps down. Behind him is 28th place Lawless Allen. 3 laps down for Connor Daly in 29th, Garcia in 30th, and I believe it's Tomasi in 31st. New name, don't recognize that one from any other races. Thad Moffitt, 32nd, 5 laps down. Stuart Friesen, 33rd, 6 laps down. 36 down for Spencer Boyd. Mason Massey, the only one out of this race. This race was 200 laps for an hour, 40 minutes, and 5 seconds. 5 lead changes, 3 leaders, and 4 yellow flags. We'll read the super chats in a bit. And we also have, before I forget, because I keep forgetting this, and apologies for the way the camera looks. The lighting in here changed a ton, and I didn't have time to change it. So I kind of look like a comic, at least on my end. I don't know if it looks like this for the rest of you, but for me, like, because of how kind of pixelated my face is and red it looks, like I almost look like a comic book character on my end. But there you go, up top. That way I don't have to read it off. You will see the scrolling ticker. I probably spelled somebody's name wrong or have somebody in the wrong position, so be sure to let me know. It still looks better than Fox. Well, thank you. Anyway, also, to add to the discussion post-race, we also have the playoff standing. So Heim, Eckes, Sanchez, Majeski, Caruth, Ankrum, and Enfinger are locked in. They are locked in to the playoffs. Top 7 are good to go heading into Richmond in, I believe, 3 weeks because we had the 2-week Olympic break. After that, you got Taylor Gray plus 48. He should be pretty good to go. The max points that you can get in a race without winning, I believe, is 55. So basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If Taylor Gray, even with the new winner, finishes 25th or higher at Richmond, he's good to go. He's in. He'll be fine. Ben Rhodes, plus 22, limping his way into a championship defense. I spell Sawalich's name wrong. I'm seeing people joke in the chat, so I probably did. Yes, I did. See, told you. Thank you. You guys are like my spell check. You'll see the live on air deal like change on air as we do it. You guys are my spell check. But anyway, Ben Rhodes being 22 above basically means that he'd have to finish, I believe, 7th or higher to lock himself in on points, no problem. Barring, of course, stage points and all of that. But just on the raw finishing order of it. Tanner Gray plus 5 in 10th, and then Daniel Dye minus 5. Stuart Friesen in 12th minus 16, and then the long shots probably just need a win at this point. Matt Crafton minus 43 in 13th, and Chase Purdy minus 44 in the 14th position. What did I do? Let's see. Jarrett, you spelled HTE way. Double A was saying, spelled it the name that he was saying all night. I like that you had a typo when you said it. Sorry. We're having a night. It is, I believe, 11 o'clock on the Eastern time zone. So we're having a late ass night. But let's get on into it. Again, no guarantee tonight if we have a guest come on in, but the invitation is open throughout the weekend. Brickyard Weekend is just a different weekend, and we run it differently on this channel. I put Holmes twice. Of course I fucking did. God damn it. Let's see. Well, he was 26. Damn, it didn't save. All right, on air production meeting again. So what I have, I'll let you again learn how the sausage is made on this one. So like there is a ticker that I have to type every single thing into, and if it doesn't save the way I want it to, the previous version will still be up there of the ticker. So I have to edit it. So appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into the race. Raja Karuth won the pole, and a lot of people are like, "Hey, last time he won the pole, he won the race." Very different track. Lap 1, he gets taken 3 wide. Enfinger and Majeski go right around him. The 9 ends up with the lead. And I'm thinking immediately, like, oh man, the chat's going to be like telling, they're going to be pumping their chests on this one. Seeing how y'all picked Enfinger to win the race. There really wasn't too awful much in this race early on, like very early. It kind of started where it's like the first half of stage 1 and the second half of the final stage were kind of just meh. It's just normal truck race. But the middle was really fun. Jesus. I'll get that. All right. There you go. Changed on screen. Lane Riggs does not have a capital I. I should just do full caps for everything. But yeah, the middle of this race was very, very exciting and then fun. And we'll get to that. Am I an Enfinger fan? I mean, I don't care either way. I mean, he seems like a cool dude. He kind of got screwed last year. Anyway, you have Massey and Ty Dillon get into a wreck, causing a caution. That's what takes Massey out of this race. Ty Dillon was able to bring his way back up right into the smack dab in the middle of the field in 18th. After that, though, we had a quick run to the finish of the stage with the 9 and the 98. Enfinger getting away right off the bat. Majeski had a restart violation, which was really interesting when it came to how the rest of the race played out. He jumped. It was pretty clear. I don't think anyone should have a problem with it. But it was clear cut. He jumped before the 9 went, who was the leader. gets called to pit road. Does not go a lap down, though, which is very, very important for how this race plays out. But with 5 to go in stage 1, Eckes goes up to the lead. Looks like he probably had the best truck outside of Majeski tonight. Like he said, second place truck. He finished second with it. He takes the lead, wins stage 1 over Enfinger, Heim, Ankrum, and Carruth, the top 5. And then Chastain, Sanchez, Thompson, Sammy Smith, and Daniel Dye, the top 10 in stage 1. Now, let's get to the fun part of the race. Stage 2. We get a back restart. The 19 and the 9, of course, are still up front. Enfinger actually restarted on the bottom, which would, at least we'd learn, be the preferred groove. I don't know why Eckes didn't choose the bottom, but Enfinger ends up getting the lead. They're neck and neck throughout the run. Another big thing that happens is on lap 85, Heim ends up with a flat tire. There's a caution that happens about the same lap as well that's not affiliated with them, basically. And when the caution came out, Heim was on the lead lap. The caution, I think, was for Connor Daly, if I'm not mistaken. It's about the only time we really saw him out there. So we get it back restarted. Eckes ends up clearing off to Ross Chastain jumps up there for a bit. And Chastain, I thought, was going to be somebody who would be pretty good tonight. You know, top 5, finish maybe top 3, 5, maybe get a win like he did, I believe, at Darlington. He ends up falling back outside the top 10 at the end of this race. But Majeski in this time and Corey Heim both charged on up to the top 10. There's this battle for second towards the end of the stage. 3 wide, the 98 and the 11 end up being the ones that run out in front in this battle. They've charged from the very back of the pack all the way up into the top 5. The stage ends with Eckes easily winning it over Heim and Majeski. That's how they would wind out in that. Crafton, Ankrum, Chastain, Riggs, Thompson, Carruth, and Sanchez, the top 10. But overall, a very, very solid second stage. You saw, because of, I think it was a mix of different tires. A lot of people were like, man, what happened to Heim tonight? You know, and he did have some issues. On one of the restarts where he and Eckes got together. We'll talk about that kind of in its own thing. But with that, it was also because he had fresher tires. With that flat tire, he had to change them, whereas the rest of the leaders did not come in. So he's probably got like 20, 30 lap fresher tires at a short track. That's probably why his truck seemed to be way better in that second half of stage 2. Crafton also, he went from back to front. Very impressive runs in the middle of this race for a lot of these guys. Second, third, and fourth. Heim, Majeski, and Crafton looked really, really good in the middle of this race. And Crafton, I mean, it looked like a vintage Matt Crafton. It looked like, late 2000s, early 2010s Matt Crafton out there, which I thought was really fun to see as somebody who grew up watching Crafton, the Truck Series. Crafton, God, I think he's been in the Truck Series longer than I've been watching NASCAR, and this is the 20th season I've been watching this sport. So, take that as you will. It's I know he had the little hubbubaloo last year with Sanchez and Talladega, but to me, it's always cool seeing the old guys come up through the field. So we get it back going with 70 to go. It's the 19, the 11 up front. Eckes would end up clearing off turn 2. Majeski gets up to second this time as he passed Heim. Of course, within 15 laps, he gets there, crossing over all this back and forth, ends up with the laps all winding down, winning the race handily. But let's talk a little bit about Eckes and Heim, because after the race, they had a discussion, and Heim was not happy. I mean, he was not happy at all. I really don't think it's all that egregious. We can say, oh, it's a racing deal or any of that. I think it's just they kind of squeeze down the backstretch. I didn't get the excuses being made of like, well, he was he was leaving too much space off the wall. Like, nah, not really. Like, I don't think he was, he was doing what everybody else was doing. But also some being like, oh, we just completely ran him over. It's like, it's a difficult track. You get a little loose, tires wear quickly. I really don't see what the big deal is. I mean, I can put a poll up if you'd like. Let's see. Who are you siding with? And I'll just put Heim, Eckes, not a big deal. Because that's how I see it. It's really not that big a deal. I know we want drama out of it, and we want them fighting. These are the two favorites for the championship. Like, let's see them go rock 'em, sock 'em at each other. But like, there's got to be actual substance, and I don't see any substance here. Overall, I get why Heim is upset. Like, I'd be upset too, especially in the moment. But I have a feeling this is one where, like, these guys call each other on Monday, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of dumb. Yeah, I'll make sure I'm good. Okay, yep, we're good. Yep, whatever. Like, that's how I see it. Nap Racing fan in the chat. FS1 moment. Alexander says, we're staying commercial free with Craftsman. Crank it up. Moments later, cut to Craftsman ad during Heim's issue. Yeah. The broadcast is what it is at this point. It really wasn't anything offensive in Fox FS1 Truck Series terms. And all things said and done, it really wasn't the worst I've ever seen. I'm just glad that when I turned on the TV during the ARCA race and I heard Adam Alexander's voice, I nearly cheered. Like, and it's not even like, oh, Adam Alexander's going to knock it out of the park. He's just going to do what he normally does, be a professional, call the race as it is, go about it, But I was just so happy that we didn't have to listen to Jamie Little for 2 races tonight, because I did watch the ARCA race. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Michael? I'm getting my 103 Huggers Oranges truck ready to turn some laps at IRP. It's good to see you, man. Yes, spam moobs in the chat. I think we can get that. It's good to see you. But looking at the poll really quick, we're going to end it here. 73% of you are on my side with it being like, it's really not that big a deal. 14% of you are with Eckes and Heim, 12% of the vote. There we go. Let's finish off with some super chats, see what you guys have to say. I'll keep an eye both on that and the chat. I appreciate everybody staying on in for a post-race for trucks at 11 o'clock at night on the East Coast nearly. So let's get on into it. CBB for the 5. I hope everyone reading this finds a person in the world that loves you as much as Michael Waltrip loves Daniel Dye. Yeah, there was a point where Daniel Dye was either in the back half of the top 10 or a lap down. And Chastain starts going through the field, and you just hear Mikey go, "Is that Danny Dye back there?" It's like, no, Michael. The fucking Ross Chastain. Like, what? Are you kidding me? He was looking for every excuse to talk about Daniel Dye, which I mean, it's all funny, in hindsight, but in the moment, I'm just like, oh, for the love of God, Waltrip. And Daniel Dye, by the way, 5 points out. So Daniel Dye is going to be a centerpiece of discussion at Richmond. So I'm just used to it now. But, oh my God. I mean, let's see. Napa Racing fan in the chat. He's going to catch them all because he's Danny Dye. God. Oh, man. There you go, Michael. Or there you go, Michael. Roots. You got a new short you can do for Michael Waltrip. We are all Michael Waltrip. The Elmeister for the 10 here. I miss your What If series of the playoffs. I wish you could do a series where you could go into detail of what each season would look like with the 04 to 06 playoffs. I believe I've done one like that. It's been a while, but I believe I've done one like that. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I have the actual results here, because like I'm not gonna like tell people to go and like find a video from 3 years ago when I made it. But if I have the note still here, I can actually tell you who would have won the championships for most of the years. It might go through like 21 or 22. I don't think, is it? Yeah, okay, we do. I still got it. So I'll let you guys know. It goes through 2020. So yeah, I made that video like 4 years ago, which in internet time is like 4 decades. So let me scroll through. So 04 to 06 points. So it goes from 07 on. So of course 2007 would have been Jimmy Johnson beating Jeff Gordon by 42 points. 2008, Johnson beats Edwards by 146. So yeah, that's fine. By the way, both of those, of course, 2-man battles for the championship. I can even let you know who was battling for the championship each year. 3-man battle for the championship. In 2009, Johnson beats Gordon in this one by a good amount. Really close battle with Harvick leading into with the 04 to 06. Harvick leads into the finale in 2010 over Johnson by 14 and Hamlin by 24. And Kevin Harvick would win the championship by 4 points. Of course, they race differently, all that, blah, 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 whatever. He beats Johnson by 4 points in that system. So Jimmy would only have won 4 in a row had they kept that original chase. So there you go on that one. Edwards beat Stewart by 26 in 2011. 3-man battle between Keselowski, Johnson, Boyer. Keselowski easily wins 2012. Johnson easily wins 2013. 2014 is a 4-man battle between Logano, Harvick, Gordon, and Keselowski, with Logano winning by 4 points over Kevin Harvick. 2015 is a 7-man battle between Logano, Harvick, Dale Jr., Truex, Keselowski, Hamlin, and Kurt Busch. In that one, Logano beats Harvick by 17. 2016 4-man battle between Logano, Kyle Busch, Hamlin, and Johnson, with Logano beating Kyle Busch by 33. So if you're keeping track at home, it would have meant that Joey Logano would have won 3 in a row. So I think a lot of people now are happy that one's gone. 2017, Truex had it locked up a race early, even with the 04 to 06. Any chase, okay, I'm going to say this now. Any championship system before 2014, Truex would have locked it up a race early. Didn't matter the chase or any of that. 2018 6-man battle between Logano, Kyle Busch, Truex, Harvick, Keselowski, and Larson. In that one, Logano wins by 37. And then there's 2 more here. 4-man battle between Truex, Harvick, Hamlin, and Larson in 2019. Truex wins that one by 34. And then 2020, heading into the last race, it's a 7-man battle between Logano, Harvick, Elliott, Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Keselowski, and Blaney. And Logano beats Chase Elliott by 16. So, for those who wanted to know who'd win in the 04 to 06 standings. And by the way, we do have, I believe, somebody coming in the call. Let me double check. Where'd he go? No, he's gone now. I thought we had somebody coming on in. But yeah, for anyone who wanted to know that, yeah, Logano would have had, like, I believe 4 championships if they would have kept the original chase. Jimmy would have had 5, I want to say. Yeah, 5. Truex would have had 1. It would have been really different. Of course, they would have raced different, all that, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So there is, that. But I mean, I went through each one and looked through, like, to just, like, when I made the video, I think I spent like a couple weeks going through each one and just like, I almost thought about saying like what they would have done or whatever, but then we could say a million things for that one, and then maybe like, why didn't this happen? I didn't want to make a 5-hour video on a hypothetical. But yeah, I mean, if you guys were curious, there you go. You probably have to go back through the rambling on that one. I will finish off the super chats unless guest comes on in. I'll let him know. I'll let him know. Just jump in whenever. Matt Parsons for the 5. Was Majeski's Lucky French Fry mentioned on FS1? He talked about it on MRN. That's why I ask. I'm not sure. Let me know, chat. Was the Lucky French Fry added in? And while you're at it, do we have a French fry emoji? Like, yeah, we do. Spam some fries in the chat while we're at it. I didn't hear it, but I could have just been focusing on setting up the stream or something. So, yep, there we go. There's all the fries. VIE Sensation or VIE Sensation for the 298. Find their valve stems that bleed air again. Yeah, I mean that might have just been driver this year. Good on Danny B for choosing the correct one. Look at all those fries. Woo! I hope those are McDonald's fries. They last forever. Maybe they're not here. They might not be as good anymore. I don't know. I don't eat McDonald's. And then the Real Young Cub for the 5. 5 for Ty. Ty Majeski. I'm an idiot. I'm like brainstorming in my head. I'm like, which Ty are we talking about? There's so many Ties. Ty Gibbs, Tyler Reddick, Ty Dillon, Ty Majeski, Ty Norris. I think that's it. Yeah, that is. So thank you guys for coming on in. We'll see about having other people jump on during the rest of the weekend. It's going to be an interesting, weird weekend. Figure we'll have a lot of fun with it before we head off on the Olympic break, and then I have to go run a marathon, all that fun stuff. Flying into Cleveland next week. But I appreciate you coming in, staying so long. It was fun. Be sure to watch NWP this Wednesday on my channel. We'll be live after Xfinity and Cup the rest of the weekend. And I think that's it. I think it is. Did I miss anything? I think we're good. We're good. Yep, we're good. So thank you guys so much for coming on in. I appreciate it a ton. Have a great night, and I'll see you next time. Later, y'all.